First up, always a bigger Jormungandr. 1 mana spell, give a minion +2 attack, and excess damage dealt by attacks hits the enemy hero. So it gives the minion the trampling rhino effect. And this is the most important part that everyone should be aware of. If you have a minion like Hollow Hound that cleaves, all 3 attacks excess damage goes to face.
My related cards on this aren't working. It's saying, sorry, it's saying like spot two, but yeah, okay.
This card is the most busted thing I've seen in a long time.
Okay, so I can give a minion +2 extra dealt by attacks hits the enemy hero. So it's
So if you
just
put
like
this on a Hollow Hound,
so you do the Hollow Hound, and then you could use it as an OTK, right? Like,
yep. And there's also the 4 mana Hunter minion that most people forgot about, the Stoneborn Gargoyle or something. 4 mana 3/5 that cleaves, and if you infuse 3, it gets rush.
Okay.
So you can kind of play 4 copies of this stuff.
I could use this with Mukla as well, right? Like just the Russian didn't. So like I don't even need to run King Crush anymore. I just used always bigger Jogamer, you know?
Yes.
Probably.
Also kind of works with Castle Kennels too, because you can preload more of a beast buff. So on turn 7, you can play Hollow Hound, give it +2 attack with the location, then +2 attack with this, and then you have a 7 damage cleave that all goes face if it. Oh, and it lifesteals because reasons.
Oh yeah.
So
this is tutorable.
Yep, tutorable trinket tracker.
And people also saying, do you think this works as Enchanter?
Enchanter.
So I do double damage. So I go Hollow Hound. I have a 6 attack Hollow Hound. I go Enchanter, so it does 36 damage.
I don't know if that works. I think the way Enchanter might work is damage is assigned to the minion first, and then it's double.
I think that's how Morg Artifice work in certain situations. Maybe I don't actually can't remember now. Maybe I could see it being both ways. So yeah. I'll you've sold me. I'll give this a 5. So
yeah, this is a very easy 5. After this, we got Awakening Tremors, 1 mana, get 3/4/1 worms. They cost 1. They're replacing, for some reason, the word like add to your hand with get.
Okay.
This puts 3 4/1s that cost 1 to your hand.
4/1s are always weird, where they're like very easy to kill, but sometimes annoying. This is a tough one. Like I'm just
this card does have a little bit more synergy in the future, but I think this card is just good. I would use the point of comparison first day of school.
Yeah.
It started at 0 mana, get 2 random 1s in your hand. Then they upped it to 1 mana, get 3 1s in your hand. Then they nerfed it again.
Yeah.
And I think a 1 mana 4/1 is probably at least as good as your average 1-drop, maybe better.
Yeah.
And there's some other synergy with this too. So there's a 2 mana minion. I'm not sure if you've seen that yet, but
yeah, it is annoying.
Solid.
Hunter doesn't like playing a 1 mana spell on one. They're very much like their 1 mana drops. So
yeah.
So that's my skepticism. It feels weird. Like it's one of those cards that on the surface feels good, but I don't know. But I'll just.
What about thinking of this like Barrel of Monkeys? Or you get 2 mana,
Barrel of Monkeys has taunt,
3 times.
Like that's why you run it. So
and
like
this is half the mana. You get 4 1s instead. It's probably good.
I mean, it's half. It's more like 2/3 the mana because the Barrel of Monkeys you don't have to spend the mana to make them. They're just like
sure.
So it's I'll just be boring. Give it a 3. So
yeah, I was on 3 too, and the only reason I'm not going a little bit higher is because I think I want to draw always a bigger Jormungandr more often from Trinket Tracker.
Okay.
So I probably don't play this quite as much because of that.
Okay.
But I think it's a fine card. Anyway, after that, we got Absorbent Parasite. 2 mana 3/1 Magnetic Rush can magnetize to mechs and beasts.
This idea seems really cool, but it also doesn't seem very good. Like I think Doggy Biscuit seems just. Oh, I guess does it give the minion rush? That you do it?
Yes, it does.
So it's like a doggy biscuit kind of that with giving things rush.
Yeah, so there's one reason to play this card really, and that's with the 8 mana legendary card in Hunter. I'm not sure if you saw that one, but as a little bit of a spoiler, it makes the next 3 minions that you summon into 8/8s. So the whole idea is you're
Oh.
supposed to play the 8-drop, and then you play this, which will turn it into an 8/8 that you magnetize onto something that's going to attack.
And then you go one mana spell with Hollow Hound and you OTK your opponent. That seems pretty
Yeah,
good.
that's kind of the idea.
Because I feel this card is only good because of the synergy, but it's not like this as a card doesn't seem good enough in a vacuum. I'll give it a 2. So
I can be sold on it too. I'm not a huge believer in the Hodir combo, but it's possible if the game goes late. Like Hunter's playing Lorthamar right now,
yeah,
so it's not out of the question that this works.
yeah.
Yeah, putting that on Hollow Hound's kind of a dick move.
Yeah, it is.
All right. So there's that. It's not bad.
People are gonna have to get really good at placement again. So
I'm very bad at placement.
yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people I've taught I've been like placement doesn't matter anymore, but I'll have to be like placement matters again. So you're gonna have to think about all that stuff again, which is annoying. But yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see if that Hodir thing works out. We'll see if Hunter's slow enough. But after Absorbing Parasite, we got Bait and Switch, a new secret. When a friendly minion is attacked, give it +3/+3.
This might be. Is this good? I don't know. Like secrets, I've always yeah. Like
It's a secret. Every secret's the same. It's a bad card, and the secret synergies, if they're broken enough, the secret synergies are good cards. But every secret is a bad card in my brain.
Yeah. Let's just give it a 2 and move on. That's
Yep.
what I'm gonna do.
Please. Please.
All right.
Fuck secrets. Alright. Next up, we got Observer of Myths. 2 mana, 1/4. After you summon a minion with more attack than this, give all friendly minions +1 attack. And that's a permanent buff.
That's on them.
So-
So you could do. So this could kind of be like.
This is what the 4 ones are for, potentially.
Ah.
Because you play this, if you have a board that sticks, let's say you have like 2 minions, you play this and you drop a 4/1, which buffs this to 2 attack and your other minions. Then another 4/1 that buffs this to 3 attack and your other minions. And then another one that buffs this to 4 and your other minions. So it's kind of like a Halvaria in that respect.
Yeah,
that
it reminds me of
particular combo.
Halvaria, but way more annoying to use. So.
Yeah, basically.
It's just like. I see the idea. I just know like Hunter's clunky and doesn't have like the clean like Hunter boards are generally like unclean, though not the way Demon Hunter and Rogue boards are. So it's like just hard for me to see all these clean plays.
This one's a
happening.
very low curve deck. A very low curve deck. Just you swarm the board, you basically bloodlust the opponent, and you
But
can also.
I have to
tutor
play
with
all
1
these
mana
cards
Spirit.
that like I can't unless I have all I don't have that 2 mana get 3 1/1 rushes, which is what Halvaria has. So it's like
Yeah.
how do I like do I just play 2 minions and get +2 attack? I
I'm
don't
giving
believe
this
it.
a 3, I think.
I probably is a 2, but I'm just gonna give it 1. I don't believe in it. So
I underrated Halvaria, and now maybe I'm going to overcorrect and overrate this thing.
so okay.
But I'm not looking stupid again, not this time. All right. After that, we got Titan Forge Traps. 2 mana spell, discover and cast a secret. And Forge, do it twice. So this doesn't discover and cast a secret from your deck.
Yeah.
It's just discover and cast. You don't have to have a secret deck, which is nice. And this is kind of like it's a twin spell, basically. It's 2 mana, discover and cast a secret. You can twin spell it, except a little worse than that. 'Cause
You have to
Forge first.
preemptively,
Yeah.
And Hunter spells, Hunter secrets.
It's all about the payoff cards. And there is another payoff card for secrets.
I mean, I feel you run this card in a spell hunter that doesn't exist that has a big payoff for only running. Like that's where I see it. Like I need to run wacky cards that don't make sense because I have some weird play around, which means it might be a 2.
Bow is for.
So it's I'll give it a 2 because
It's not a good card on its own.
Yeah, I mean, it's something you run for some weird, wacky reason. So, yeah.
All right, 2 sounds about right to me. After that, we got Fable Stablehand. 3 mana, 3/3 with Rush. Battle Cry, if you control a minion with 4 or more attack, gain +2/+2.
I'm gonna give it 1. These cards suck. Yeah.
I'm not interested.
They seem
not
to get, yeah, I mean, it's just
Probably not
utterly
fun.
garbage whenever you don't. Cards that are like, hey, this card's good enough when you are ahead and terrible when you're not, tend to be terrible. So, yeah.
Pass on it. I agree. After that, we got Agrimar the Avenger, which is a card that says Titan on it. So, 6 mana, 3/7. Battle Cry, equip a 3/3 Tashalak, which is just a 3/3 weapon. And the Titan abilities are give your weapon after your hero attacks, draw a card. Or give your weapon after your hero attacks, summon a 3/3 Enforcer with Taunt. Or give your weapon +2 attack and your hero is immune while attacking. So, I don't know if this is a fringe case, but if your weapon does get destroyed, your first weapon, and you equip a second one, the abilities can buff the second one you equip.
Another controversial 5.
Yeah, this is an easy
the hot takes you only can get here.
Yeah, this thing it smashes them for 15 damage a lot of the time, minimum.
Immune good, is draws good.
It does more.
You could decide, I need draw this game, I'm gonna take draw. I need board this game, I take board. I need to attack things and not die. Like, and it's only 6 mana. Like, it's not even that expensive, And like the body's annoying too.
Yep.
My God, Titans are gonna be absurd. All right, time to run reverberations, and I'm gonna run my faceless manipulator right deck. I'll run creepy painting just to get more Titans, So I don't know. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, by the way, if Titans are very good, card like Sylvanas, that might be good.
Ooh, steal the Titans.
The cover artist does copy enemy minions for anyone who wants to know.
Okay.
Anyway, Agrimar seems good. 5. Afterwards, we got Starstrung Bow. 6 mana, 6/2 weapon. Costs 1 less for each friendly secret that has triggered this game. That's a lot of damage. You get that down to a 4.
If you're already like, if the secrets aren't hard for you to run, this card's absurd, right? Like, so.
Yeah. The secret does have to trigger. It's not once you've played.
Yeah, but I feel like with the secrets, it kind of cates the game down, and then and you can run 2 of these too, like so. This is enough for like that's so much damage, like for so cheap. Like once you get some secrets triggered,
I'm gonna go 4
give this. I like a 4. I like a 4. Like this card's good enough to like. This card could be a win condition for a legit deck, So
yeah.
You just run a bunch of secrets. It's awkward. You do some chip damage against the right deck. You get your priest opponent down to 20. They're feeling confident. You go Starstruck, bro. Hero power. You put them down to this, and then you like there's something that could happen here. So.
Yeah, and you also got Hollowhound and Star Power just to keep the board clear if you're doing a slower secret plan.
Yeah. So there's a lot of ways.
The tools are there for aggressive or slower.
Yeah, I don't know what the build is. I don't know this, but like this card seems good. So yeah.
Yep, seems good. And after that, last card we got Hodir, Father of Giants, 8 mana, 8/8 legendary. Battle Cry, set the stats of the next 3 minions you play to 8/8. This card, it's like exclusively good in the context of always a bigger Jormungandr.
Yeah, you could just play this and then play Hollowhound or,
Yeah, or Stonebound Gargan, the other Cleave.
Yeah.
Use your Magnetize minion.
Yeah. I'm not like sold on this, but like. But I don't think it's terrible. I want to give it a 2, so I'm not. Yeah.
I'll even go as high as a 3, just because I was surprised by Lorthamar.
Okay.
I don't know if this is better or worse than Lorthamar.
It's different. I don't know. This works with your hand. Lothamar works with your deck, so does conflict with Lothamar. Yeah. The 7 to 8 mana also matters. I think there's a big difference between 7 and 8 mana cards when the timing of the game. So, it also is you know, like, do you want to hold your Hollow Hound till turn 9 so you can get it?
Oh,
For the big, like, you often you need your Hollow Hound stabilize.
oh yes. If you do Faithful Companions, this doesn't work with Faithful Companions,
Oh, that's
whereas
true.
something like Lorthamar does.
Yeah. So I'll give it 2.
All right, yeah, two, two. All right, well that's Hunter. Hunter got a really nice set, I think.
I
I
don't know.
think almost all
I
of
felt
these
like
cards
Hunter.
have potential roles somewhere.
Yeah. There is.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Any thoughts about Hunter, or do you want to move on to
Yeah,
Mage?
I mean, I think it got some good stuff. It's. I mean, I think it also got like. I mean, I think it got like always a bigger joiner, and then it got some stuff that's, I don't know, questionable. We'll
That's
see.
not that hard.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and then I don't know. I think it's better than Death Knight and Demon Hunter, but I'm not. It also has a lot of cards that could be good. So like I think Starstrung Bow could be really good. I mean, it's really just Starstruck Bow, and I don't know about Awakening Tremors. Like that might be just really good, but yeah. And then Hodir, I don't
Jormungandr
know.
is so getting nerfed.
So what?
That's so getting nerfed. That one mana spell is so getting nerfed.
Yeah, you're probably right.
All right.
Yeah, the
Mage.
card's really good. Okay.
So Mage is, in some respects, kind of like Death Knight in that a lot of the cards are rather all in on this spell school package. So we got to think of everything in that light. First up, we got Discovery of Magic. 1 mana spell. Discover a spell from a spell school you haven't cast this game from any class.
These cards have seen play before. I mean, this would be good with like something like Multicaster if that were still a card. I don't know
we have
what the
other little
synergies is, but
different
like,
multicasters.
I mean, this doesn't seem like hyper efficient or anything, but I could see some deck running
It's
it
not.
basically. So I guess give it a 2.
Yeah, it's a role filler.
Yeah.
Yep. It's like Secrets and Hunter. It's a card you
Yeah.
don't want to play on its own, but it makes other things good. So after Discovery of Magic, we got Aqua Archivist, 2 mana 2/2 Elemental. Battlecry, the next Elemental you play, costs 2 less. They also did this.
There any like
there's Prismatic
elementals
Elemental.
you want to cheat out like that cost like 5 mana that are really good?
There's Vexilus,
Oh, that's
there's
true.
Prismatic Elemental, and there's a new 4 mana Elemental in this set that's coming up.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that if you're
okay.
running elementals already, this kind of becomes free. Means it's probably good enough. So I'll give it
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, 3 is about right. Unfortunately, it's an Elemental, and tribal stuff doesn't usually go that
Yeah.
hard in Mage.
Yeah.
But it's alright. Next up, we got Chillimatic. 2 mana 2/3 mech with Magnetic that freezes any character damaged by it. So it's Snow Chugger
Chugga
with
chugga
Magnetic.
chugga chugga chugga. I mean, it's chugga chugga chugga. Is that like still see playing Wild in some wacky decks? I've seen it on
No.
Wild. Like I've seen it in Wild like 2 years ago. The chugga chugga chugga.
It's definitely better than that card, but I mean, it's Mech Mage. Do we care about Mech Mage?
Does it even say chugga chugga chugga? I don't know.
I'm betting there's a throwback there.
Yeah, I'll give this a 1. So
I'll give it a 2 because it goes in a bad deck. After Chillimatic, we got Molten Rune. 3 mana, fire spell, deal 3 damage, get a random spell, forge, this casts twice.
how good
This
are
is going to become important later when you see that Mage received a 6 mana Malagos.
Oh, okay.
The idea of this spell is that you're supposed to juice up some spell damage, and then if you get like +5, +6 spell damage, you're dealing 18 sometimes.
Okay. Random spells kind of suck. There's too many bad ones, but
Yeah, you're not in it for the random spell.
yeah, I'll give it a 2.
Yeah. The card itself is not very good, but it's a role filler that becomes good with the synergies. Like a lot of this stuff. Next up, we got Inquisitive Creation. 4 mana 3/4 mech. Battlecry, deal 1 damage to all enemy minions, and that's improved by each spell school you've cast this game. So if you played a fire spell, this does 2 damage to all enemy minions. And then if you played a frost as well, it's 3, and so on.
I feel like this is absurdly bad.
It's kind of weird. When I look at this card, I think it's actually kind of... It's good, but...
I think so?
I think it might... Yeah, I mean, if you're getting a 3 damage AoE on turn 4 with a 3/4 body... Which
maybe you're right. Yeah, you're right. You just play 2 spells.
The one...
Yeah. Play Arcane Intellect and play...
This will ramp up fast enough.
Okay, I was completely wrong.
Like, if you thought the Demon Hunter card was good, the 4/3 that hit the enemy minions for 3, this is at least on that level, I think.
Yeah, it could still just be useful
Only issue I really
if you're completely brick at your hand. So, all right, I'll give it a 4.
If you have star power, yeah. If you have star power, it gets a little redundant. Maybe you're too good at removing things.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have, right?
No, actually, I'm going to move it to a 4 too. Yeah,
I went from a 1 to a 4. That's a fast change. So yeah.
You saw the light.
So
not much more to it though. After Inquisitive Creation, though, we have Unchained Gladiator, 4 mana 4/4 elemental. Battlecry, draw a card. Repeat for each elemental you played last turn. It's like if you play that 2/2, you can then play this, and it draws you an extra card for a little less mana. It's neat-ish.
I mean, elementals suck, but like this card is good in elementals. So I mean, this card's great in elemental. Like, if there was an elemental mage deck, this card would be really good. Like, in fact, you play 2 elementals and 4 mana, draw 3. But so I will give this a 4, knowing that it's probably gonna suck, because like this is a great card that sucks, if that makes sense. So
yeah, I'll give it a 3.
There you go.
I could see maybe like you can play this instead of a volume up if you play the 2/2 elemental and prismatic elemental. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's all right. I'm glad they finally figured out to make an elemental card that works, though, where like you play it and it does something always, and then it gets a bonus effect if you played an elemental.
Yeah.
That's kind of nice.
Great.
Oh yeah, there's also the little, the thing from Geyser, the 1/2 elemental from Geyser.
Yeah, Flame Geyser are super easy if you're running like this in a Flame Geyser deck. So, I mean, most of the mage decks right now almost have like hand space issues, but like you just need a different deck, right? Like, so this card feels really strong, just bad in the decks that I imagine it that it wants to be run, but because those decks are bad decks, but like the theory of this deck is clear. So yeah, another card. Yeah. All right. Anyways,
seems neat. I like it. Oh yeah, there's also Arcane Artificer. Forgot about that one. The 1 mana 1/3.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Cool. Card. Point is, card seems fine. Afterwards, we got Wisdom of Nohandsgamer, 5 mana arcane spell that draws 2 cards, costs 1 less for each different spell school you have cast this game.
You have to play a lot of spells to make this
words.
To make this, it's a lot of setup. Like, even if you do 3 spells, which is doable, then it's like
you got
2 mana. Like, so like 2 mana draw 2 is good enough when it's always that. The fact that sometimes in your hand you played 1 spell and it's 4 or 5 mana, like, are you spending all your early turns playing these spells and then you do draw cards? Like, you know,
kind of.
I'm gonna give this a 1. 1.
Oh, all right. I will contrast that with a 4.
Okay.
I think cards that passively reduce to 0 are good.
Yeah, I mean...
Next up, we got Nohandsgamer himself. 6 mana, 3/8 Titan. After this uses an ability, double the power of the other abilities. So, one ability is deal 5 damage. One is enemy cards cost 1 more next turn. And the other is cast 1 random mage secret. So if you use, let's say, cast a random mage secret, next ability, it's either deal 10, or enemy cards cost 2 more next turn. And then if you do enemy cards cost 2 more, you deal 20 damage with the final ability.
Oh, so yeah, you could... Imagine when you, like, reverberations this card. I
was cooler on this card till I thought about reverberation.
Alright, yeah, this is another hot takes on the 5s on the Titans. Alright, so...
Yeah. I can see you just play this on 6 and you do the costs 1 more thing, and you pray that it sticks, and if it does, then you reverb it and you 20 them.
Every deck needs like a single target
just
removal that works on 3/7s and 3/8s. I feel like now there's a lot of right. It's just like, what?
Sylvanas.
Yeah, every card deck is gonna run Sylvanas just so they can beat Titans because it's like you just lose
Kill
this
them or take
card if
them.
you can't kill it on the next turn, right? So
Yep.
they
Yeah,
play
this will
two
murder you.
secrets, you get
Good card.
objectioned, and then you're done. You know, I don't know. Yeah, so
Nornigon Strong. Next up, we got Sif. 6 mana 4/6 legendary, spell damage +1, improved by each spell school you've cast this game. This kills people real bad.
yeah, I mean, it's
I
awkward to play
believe
all
there are
those
7
spells.
spell schools in the game.
Okay.
Arcane, Frost, and Fire are very easy for the deck to do. That's up to 4. You can get Holy if you want. It's a little harder. Reverberations is a shadow spell.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. There's the 1 mana spell that discovers from other spell schools. That can find you the Holy or Fel spell you're looking for. So you, in theory, I think can get this up to about spell damage +8 max. Spell, Fire, Frost, Arcane,
Yeah.
Shadow, Holy, and whatever else I'm forgetting.
Seems tough. I mean, I don't know. I see the theory of this card. I play my spell schools. I get this buffed up,
Yeah,
and
like
I use it
Mizaki.
to OTK. And maybe that might be good enough. Like, I mean, is this like, you know, as good as just like, is it worth it? Like, you know, like you have to, you know, I
Is a
don't know.
6 mana Malagos worth it?
Well, it's not always 6 mana Malagos, right? So it's a 6
Not
mana.
always.
That's what I mean. So
A lot
you
of the time it
you have
will
to
be.
play. You have to play a lot of suboptimal cards. I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a tough one because you could be right. It could be broken. I could also see it being mid. I could also see it being unplayable. It's a really tough one. I don't know.
I'm going 5.
Okay. Ooh.
Yeah, so I think max you get this up to 8 spell damage. If you got it to 8 and you hit someone with that rune card, the forge card, that is 22 damage, and then you can arcane bolt them and they die.
Seems easier just shooting frozen touches at people's face. I don't know.
You can do that too. It's not mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
I like Sif. Do you like Sif?
This is gonna be actual. This is the first big divergence. I'm gonna give it a 2. I'm not a believer,
Okay.
so. All right, it's I could easily be wrong, but I just it doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. So.
And then we have the last card here, which is also spell school payoff. Elemental Inspiration, 7 mana spell. Summon a 4/5 vortex with a random bonus effect for each spell school you've cast this game. This card is worded extremely ambiguously. The way this works is for each spell school you cast, you will summon a 4/5 vortex. Each of them has a single bonus effect, being Taunt, Rush, Divine Shield, any of the basics.
It's just like a
Not
board on the
charged.
box with
Yes.
a board on the box. Kind of reminds me of like a old Dragon Caller for the big spell thing. That was 9 mana,
Yep.
got you all the 5/5s. Obviously, that was a different time.
Because
But,
if
you
you can
know.
get Sif to spell damage +5 regularly, that means that if you play 4 spell schools, you're getting 5 4/5s. That's a lot of crap for 7 mana. That's a lot for 7.
Yeah, I just feel like the setup on this stuff doesn't sound easy. I'm just not a believer. I'm gonna give it a 2. I'm not quite convinced to give it a 1, but I'm gonna give it a 2.
Yeah, so the Mage set is very interesting. It's a lot, actually, like the Death Knight set, in that almost all the cards are kind of honing in on this one particular archetype.
Yeah.
Spell schools. And if that deck works out, it's awesome. It's a new Mage deck that does some interesting, powerful stuff. And if it doesn't work out, the entire set's going to kind of fall apart.
Yeah, it's interesting my valuation of the why I don't think the Mage versus the Death Knight, where Mage on Death Knight I feel like it doesn't make sense to run the those cards in the deck that it's run. Where the Mage I feel is just too awkward to like play all these cards. So so I feel like it doesn't. I feel like they're just objectively not as strong as the Death Knight ones. Where the Death Knight ones are just like, why am I running Bomb Death Knight and aggro Demon Hunter or aggro Death Knight? So yeah.
Is Is Inquisitive Creation the 4 mana 3/4 that AoEs? Is that good outside of a dedicated spell school deck? How much damage does that have to do before it's good? Because if the answer is you need to play 2 spell schools, that card actually might just be fine.
Oh yeah, that might see play and just some sort of
Just Flame
standard,
Geyser,
yeah.
Frozen Touch,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. Arcane Intellect, and you just have those 3. But so I don't know. Yeah.
Interesting mage set for sure. Next up, we got Paladin. Now, before we do Paladin, there are actually 2 new core cards coming to Paladin. Are you aware of that?
I am not aware of that.
Oh, okay. Well, I will pull those up, or you can just go to the core. If you want to not watch on my stream, just go to the core set.
Okay.
The 2 cards, one is called Resistance Aura. It's a 2-mana spell that says, your opponent's spells cost 1 more, lasts 3 turns. So it's like a Dunbaldar Bridge, basically, type of effect.
Okay.
But it's a Cult Neophyte effect.
Yeah. Interesting. So it's
So really,
interesting that it's 3 turns worth of inefficiency.
So 3 turns, it's more like 2 for the opponent, because it ticks down at the end of your turn. So your opponent's next turn and the turn after that, their spells cost 1 more. And this will go away at the end of your
Doesn't
third
this
turn.
seem so much worse than Rebuke, which didn't saw some play in like some meme decks?
I don't think Resistance Aura looks good.
Okay.
It does look remarkably frustrating, though.
Okay.
Because even if it's not good, some people will play it, and it's going to be annoying as hell to deal with this.
One more
But-
is the Rebuke for Death Knight with your minions for 5 more seems so much better than this. But yeah, so anyways.
Then there's the other 4-mana spell. This one is slightly fucked up. That's called Crusader's Aura. 4-mana holy spell. Whenever a friendly minion attacks, give it +2/+1. Lasts 3 turns. There are some cards I want to call to mind across 3 mana values to give you the sense for this. Imbued Axe on 3. On 4, there's Grave Strength. And on 5, there's Arbor Up. And
This gives the minion +2/+1 as it attacks.
Yeah, before it hits something.
Okay. So
This card looks mega fucked up.
this card reminds me of Dunbar Bridge, which is never always was something you could almost play that kind of wasn't good enough.
The bridge required you play minions, or summon them rather. This affects your minions in play. This is a Savage Roar, but the buff is permanent. This is a Grave Strength. And it lasts 3 turns.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, so it is great. Yeah, I guess if it's a Grave Strength and you don't have any corpses and it's permanent, yeah, it's probably good. Okay, you sold me.
Also Rokara, a 3-mana Rokara.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, this card looks mega nutty.
Okay.
But just bear that in mind when you look at these other new cards.
Okay. Well, I'll give this for this. I think I'm gonna give a 1 to the previous one, but I'll give a 4 to this Crusader Aura. So,
I would go 5 on Crusader Aura. But so Mech Paladin, starting off with Mech Paladin, got the X21 Repair Bot, a 1-mana 1/3 mech, Death Rattle. Return any mechs magnetized to this to your hand. Have you seen the Paladin cards?
I have
There's
not.
a card that'll. All right, so
this card is probably good enough, right? Like free value.
Yeah,
and so
it's got a fine stat line. It says mech. As far as mech decks are concerned, this is a 1-drop they like. You're not going to be magnetizing much to it. Yeah, it's a fine card.
Okay, I'll give it 3.
Yeah, I'll go about 3 on it. The next card is the powerful one. That's Inventor's Aura. 2-mana holy spell. Your mechs cost 1 less. Lasts 2 turns. And so this is the part where I'm going to remind everybody that Radar Detector is a card. 2 mana, 5 cards, bottom of your deck. Any mechs go in your hand. And so now you also have Mech Warper that you can have for 2 turns, kind of.
Yeah, guaranteed. Yeah, and you play it this turn, and then you have it for the next turn, right? So.
Yep. This Mech Paladin deck, you get Crusader's Aura in there. You have Inventor's Aura, and you have Radar Detector, those are your only spells. Everything else is just a mech as cheap as you can get it. And you draw a handful of mechs, you flood the board with mechs, they stick for a turn, and then you buff them with either Crusader's Aura or Bubblebot and kill the opponent.
That does seem good.
This deck is going to have an 85% win rate, like bronze through gold.
Yeah,
this is going to stop
I think. I mean, I'm not convinced this is going to dominate our ranks, but yeah, I could see it completely decimating the low ranks. Yeah.
I think Inventor's Aura is a 5 anyway. As far as mech cards are concerned, it's very powerful.
Yeah, I know that 2/3 completely warps the meta. Or the mech. So in wild. So, but that is like also a stat line where this doesn't have a stat line.
That's true, and you can't play 2 of these at once.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4. I'm not convinced on a 5, but yeah. So.
Oh, there's also Magatha for this deck to reload, which is nice. That's going to kill all the lower ranked players. It's going to be nerfed in like 2 weeks. Alright, after Inventor's Aura, we got Noble Minibot. A 2-mana 2/3 mech with Magnetic. After this attacks, give a random minion in your hand +1/+1. Seems like a 3 to me.
Yeah, I guess, this is in a mech deck. This is better than Doggy Biscuit. I guess it doesn't have tradable, so maybe not. I don't know.
But you can just play it as a body. Just drop it on 2.
Yeah, but as a 2-mana 2/3 blows, so I'm gonna give it 2. I'm not as convinced. I think it's only run because you need filler for your you need lots of mechs. So I could see.
I agree with that assessment entirely.
I could see if you had like in wild, this wouldn't make the cut because you have better mechs to choose from, kind of thing. So
yeah, exactly. After Noble Minibot, we got Astral Serpent, 4-mana 3/3 dragon. At the end of your turn, if this didn't attack, draw 2 cards. So it will draw 2 cards in the first turn you play it. I really wish this card didn't say if this didn't attack. I think if this just said 4-mana 3/3 at the end of your turn, draw 2 cards, it's fine.
But like I feel this card's absurd because like
really.
Okay, compare this to Death Knight, the Citadel Stand Strong. Oh, what's his name?
Yes, Chill Fallen Baron.
Yeah, this is draw 2 in a class with a 3/3 body. If your opponent has room, it's going to draw another 2. And it's in a class that has terrible card draw historically, Paladin.
Mm-hmm.
This card, I'm 5, like absurdly good. Like this card's, am I right? All right, yeah. This is. I mean, I'm so happy I can yeah. It's like it's in, and then all of a sudden I get draw too many cards because my opponent's like, oh, this card effect isn't good, and then I can attack with it, and then I don't need to draw the cards. Like this is
I'm gonna say it's a 2.
On 2, okay. All right.
It's an Arcane Intellect that costs 1 more mana, draws at the end of your turn instead of immediately, and your opponent just has to deal 3 damage to it, which they probably will.
All right. We see things. This is so.
We do see things a little differently on Astral Serpent.
Yeah. my chat's saying you play Rogue where you're used to drawing 9 cards for 0 mana. So this is good for you. This is so good. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but you don't play Paladin, so Paladin is always starving for draw. So it's like this card's absurd.
Paladin may play it for draw, maybe, but that's not a good sign for Paladin.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. I 5. Anyways, okay.
All right. After that, we got Judge Unworthy, 4-mana spell. Set an enemy minion's health to 1, then deal 1 damage to all enemies. Hey, it hits face. It's like swipe. And you can never point the 4 damage part to face.
It seems like that one card. I mean, there's lots of cards that have been like this for Paladin. But it's only 1 enemy to 1 health.
Yeah.
And then on top, like, it's like, there's like the Righteous card that made, an 8/8 to 1/1, and you got +7/+7.
And that cost 1 less.
Yeah. I mean, this card seems worse than cards that were similar to it in the past. But
it does not seem great.
But then again, I don't know.
It's a fancy
City Tax doesn't have heal. It doesn't have lifesteal. So, like, the lifesteal mattered on City Tax. So, I'll give it a 2 because it might, but I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. I don't think it's that good.
I'm even going to go 1 on this. I think this is just a fancy assassin.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. After Judge Unworthy, we got Stoneheart King, 4-mana 3/2 Death Rattle. summon a 2/2 Earthen that gains +2/+2 for each other Earthen you have summoned this game. Earthen is like a Jade. It's a 2-mana 2/2, and after you summon it, it buffs itself by +2/+2 for each other one that you've had.
So does it come in as a 5/4 basically usually?
No. This is you play this. It's a 4-mana 3/2.
Oh, the Earthen gets +2/+2.
Yes. When this dies, you get a 2/2 Earthen. When your next one dies, you get a 4/4 Earthen.
All right, I haven't seen enough Earthens to know.
I can roughly explain the deck when we see the whole Paladin archetype.
Okay.
But for my money, I'm not spending 4 mana on a 3/2 that death rattles into a 2/2. That doesn't feel like a real Hearthstone play. You need a lot of power.
Even if it's like a 6/6, it's like just okay. That's you have to like. So when it's a 4/4, it's still bad. I think I'm gonna give it a 1 just instinctively. So
I'm also on a 1, and we'll move through. I'll explain the deck to you.
Okay.
Next card is related to it. Next card is Tears. 5 mana holy spell. Resurrect 3 different paladin minions. Set their stats to 2/2. Forge, resurrect another. So this is the general gist of this deck that they want you to play. Is the only paladin minions you're going to play are the ones that resurrect your other paladin minions and the things that summon Earthens. So there are 2 cards that summon Earthens. Hypothetically, they both die. This will resummon those 2 things, plus an Earthen as well. And then they start buffing each other in that regard. So again, it's like a Jade Paladin archetype. You cannot play other Paladin minions that'll interfere with this.
Why can't I just run this in Big Paladin?
You could, but a lot of your big Paladin stuff, Paladin minions have to die, not neutrals.
Yeah, so I get out my Kangor, I get out my my 3 mana Void Lord that I can't remember the name of.
Noir Lord, whatever. Yeah.
I mean, this card seems broken in the Big Paladin deck. That those card decks are never good, but like it's broken in that deck. Like I feel like that this might be put this that it's Resurrect Paladin, right? Like.
But you set the stats to 2/2.
Yeah, which is fine because it's Kangor or it's like the Divine Shield Death Rattle. So, and you get 3 of them.
I think if the archetype you're explaining to me is I draw Kangor and I play Kangor and then it dies and then later I do something, I feel like that's an unnecessary step. I think you just play Kangor, it dies, and then you win.
Okay, I haven't.
You tack this on top. Yeah.
I like this for Big Paladin, so I'm gonna give it a 4.
Right.
I think it's real good at that. I don't see the deck you're talking about as much, but like I think this is like this card seems like with the right build, it could be a good card. So
the next card here explains the archetype, the Earthen archetype completely then, which is Disciple of Amatus, a 6 mana 4/2. At the end of your turn, summon a 2/2 Earthen. That gains +2/+2 for each other Earthen you summon this game. So here's how this works. On turn 4, you play a 3/2 and pass. Presumably it dies. And then the Earthen that it summons also dies. Then on turn 6, you play a 4/6 that summons a 4/4 at the end of your turn and you pass. And then presumably the 4/6 dies, as does the Earthen. Then on turn 7, you either play Tear or Tears, which will resurrect all 3 of these. So it starts out as a 3/2 that gives you a 2/2, then the 4/6 that gives you a 4/4. Then when it dies, you're going to resurrect a 6/6 Earthen, plus the 3/2, that'll give you another one, plus this at the end of the turn, which will give you an 8/8 Earthen. And so then you'll summon a 6, you'll get an 8, and you can death rattle into a 10. That's the idea of this deck. And you can't play any Paladin minions that aren't these, otherwise you mess up the combo.
that was a lot of.
As I was trying to build this deck,
Yeah.
yes, as I tried to build this deck, I thought to myself, first, oh my god, this is very slow. Then I thought to myself, man, Paladin really doesn't draw cards very well. And then I thought,
Except
Paladin
for
really
its
doesn't
4-mana
clear
3/3
border
dragon.
very well.
Anyways, but yeah.
Well, you can't really play the 4-mana 3/3 dragon very effectively because that can mess up your resurrect pool.
Well, I didn't think about that. That's a good point. Yeah.
And you kind of can if you forge the tiers, and then it's okay. But man, this is very slow in a deck that doesn't have Unleash Fel Arcanist. If you had Unleash Fel Arcanist, we'd be talking. But I just don't think this deck makes real Hearthstone plays.
Yeah, let's
I'm going
one, baby. So,
so there's that archetype. Next up, we got the Titan, Amethyst the Peacekeeper. 7 mana 1/8 with Taunt. Your minions can't take more than 2 damage at a time. All of them, not just this. And the 3 abilities are draw 2 minions, set their attack, health, and cost to 2. Give your other minions +2/+2, or set the attack and health of all enemy minions to 2.
Dude, I'm not even thinking about these Titans anymore. I'm just like, give it a 5. All right.
Sure.
It's like,
I don't like that.
I'm sure this is good in something. Like, I don't know. It's like,
yeah, it's not very exciting, but I'm sure it works in almost any Paladin deck.
Yeah. I want to play Big Paladin, and then I use this. I draw my Kangor and my this for 2, and then I play it, and then I revive them all. So like, it sounds like for like, yeah, you could like okay. Big Paladin is gonna dominate the bronze ranks along with what's the other one, Mech Paladin.
Paladin.
Yeah, it's gonna be the bronze. Dude, people are gonna be complaining about Paladin, and then like the high ranks are gonna be Paladin. That's what's gonna happen. So yeah, that's my prediction.
As is tradition.
Yeah.
All right, so after Amethyst, we got Tyr. 7 mana 4/5 legendary. Battlecry, resurrect a 2, 3, and 4 attack Paladin minion. Which coincidentally are the stat lines of an Earthen, the Death Rattle that summons an Earthen, and the 4/6 that summons an Earthen. Or you can just resurrect other 2, 3, and 4 cost Paladin minions. It doesn't have to be those.
I could just do Big Paladin, right? The Kangler stuff.
Well, kind of. Not really, because you have to have right attacks. You can resurrect the Death Rattle Void Lord thing. What other? You could resurrect the Colossal or the Appendage. I don't think there are any 2-attack Big Paladin minions. Tyr's okay. I'm not really sold on it. Because I don't believe in the Earthen deck, and I don't like this in a pure Paladin because I don't want to draw this on 7 from a Order in the Court, or kind of just draw this in general. I don't think I like this very much. It's okay, but it's not great.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 2 because like if you could make the right deck in it, it's insane. But it's like so hard to like it doesn't slot easily into Big Paladin. I think so. That's kind of that's what I'm excited to do with all these Paladin cards is do some anyways.
Yeah, sure. Go Big Paladin.
Right.
Paladin set. I'm not very excited by it. I'm not excited by mechs. I'm not excited by Earthens, and that's most of this.
I'm excited by some of the Paladin cards, not gonna lie. So it's just not this Earthen nonsense, but
Astral Sword.
But yeah, some of this Paladin stuff looks fun. So I mean, when I'm drawing through 2 cards in a 3/3 body, it's gonna be crazy. All right, so
it's gonna be nuts.
Yeah.
All right, Priest. Priest got another weird set.
Okay.
Starting off with Astral Automaton. 1 mana 1/1 mech. Has +1/+1 for each other Astral Automaton you have summoned this game. And what that means is that if you have this in play and you summon more, it does buff itself as you summon more while it's in play. Not a Battlecry. It's a passive. It's an aura.
So like boars, but terrible. And boars were terrible. So
this is either a completely new deck or it's non-existent.
I mean, this card maybe makes the cut if there's a 1 mana card that says add 5 Astral Automatons to your hand. I don't know. Like, what am I really trying spending mana to copy this? Like,
it's a late game strategy for sure. Yeah, it's another Jade archetype. It's another
Priest is going to be playing 1 mana 6/6s, 1 mana 7/7s on turn 12. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is Priest. It's not. I don't know. And it has to spend all this inefficiency to get the copies of it, and sometimes. Yeah, it's 1. So
I'm not a massive believer, but I'm going to go for a 2. I'm going to be a little hopeful. Okay. After Automaton, we have Creation Protocol, which kind of goes with it, but not necessarily. 2 mana Holy Spell, discover a copy of a minion in your deck. Forge, get another copy.
So this is like Selected Breeder with no body.
Yes. And you can maybe get 2. I think this card's really good. You can get, like a Titan, a Blackwater Behemoth. School Teacher is not amazing, but
I guess I was thinking of this because this Astral Automaton. I guess
you can get Astral Automaton.
I guess it is good with Titans and Behemoths. That's a good point. And it is kind of similar to.
It's a copy, so it's not like Shadow Visions where you have to pull the card.
Yeah. Okay. I was thinking this was garbage, but both you and my chat have convinced me. All right, I'll give it a 3. So.
All right, I'm gonna go 4. I think the card is nice. After that, we got False Disciple. 2 mana 2/2, Battlecry. Discover a legendary priest minion from the past. Great.
Yeah.
Maybe 2, probably more like a 1. I'm gonna say 1.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, I guess priest, like, it depends how good, like, do I run this more than like the 3/2 that gives that death rattle? Yeah, like
no. I can't get excited by this. I don't even care if you put it in a deck as the 40th card. This is always going to be a 1 in my mind.
Yeah, I'll give it a 1. So it's fairly time.
It's so boring.
Yeah, I mean,
Speaking of,
anyways, okay.
Yeah, next card, Grace of the Highfather. 3 mana Holy Spell. Restore 8 health. Discover a card that costs the amount overhealed.
Ooh. Still kind of bad, but
it's just
cool.
more Discover garbage.
Yeah, it's like, well, then I lose my heal, right? So, like, I mean, if I heal, I feel like, I mean, maybe if there's like something you really want to, so you do it on your 7 health minion, so you can discover more Astral Automatons and win the game. All right.
Yeah, this even discovers a card. That means neutrals and neutral minions and priest minions and spells. Mother of God, this thing's bad. That's a 1.
Yeah, 1. Okay, 1. Let's go.
All right. Next up, Student of the Stars. 3 mana 4/3. Death Rattle. Shuffle a copy of this into your deck with permanent +3/+3. It's a new and improved bottom feeder.
Dude, I always love these cards and they always suck.
Oh,
but I always want them to work.
They never work.
Yeah, I'll give it 1. But I always love them. I'm always like, I will make a Student of the Stars deck, and then it's terrible. So, anyways, yeah.
Mega terrible. All right. Next up, The Stars Align. 3 mana Arcane Spell. Transform minions in your hand into ones that cost 3 more. They keep their original cost. I'm going 1 on this. The idea, I think, is that this deck is supposed to be like... what was the name? The one that transformed all your minions into dragons that kept their stats and cost.
Yeah, Dragon Color. But that was in your Dragon Color... what was it called? Chat? Dragon Color or...
It was a whole Druid deck, and I can't remember the name of this card.
I remember that card. 6 mana. Lady Prestor.
Lady Prestor. Okay. Yes. But this doesn't get your deck. This just gets you.
Yeah, I think it'd be better on your deck. Your hand is like... Also, like, Priest doesn't often have lots of minions in their hand. They have lots of spells. So it's like you're getting a couple, like, overstated cards that Priest doesn't have a good use of using overstated, like, arena cards, you know?
Well, that's why your entire deck is cheap, crappy minions that you just try to transform. Because you have Stars Align,
Priest is going to
Shadows. There you go.
Yeah, I'll give it 1,
yep.
So...
1. Yep, this seems like a 1. Not great.
All right.
After that... Serenity, 4 mana Holy Spell. Give all enemy minions -2 attack. That's permanent. Destroy any with 0 attack.
Here's the thing: is like, do I even want to destroy minions with 0 attack? Like, they're kind of taking up board space.
That's why they did this, because otherwise that would feel too bad.
Yeah.
Is this card better than Holy Nova?
No.
You want to say no?
Yeah, this is pretty good, to be honest. Wait, it's permanent? I mean, it's on the board permanently?
Yes. Yeah, it's permanent attack discount.
No, but like they play another minion, it doesn't get the minus
Oh,
two
no.
attack.
No,
Okay,
God, no.
okay, yeah. So it's just a permanent one time on the board.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's like it's just the way losing health is permanent. So, but you can heal it back. But okay, yeah, I give it a 1. So
Yeah. I can see like a fringe world where maybe this is a weird card Renathal Priest slots in, but it's the same basic deck, same effects.
when there's a giant deck with tons of 2/8s, this 2 cards are going to be insane.
Yeah.
But
Kills
until
Hawk
then,
Strider range.
yeah,
Otherwise, whatever. But you can just cannibalize, it doesn't matter.
yeah.
Anywho, next up, Raw Den. 6 mana, 5/5 legendary. Death Rattle, summon each other minion you've played this game that didn't start in your deck. That is played, not summoned. So, if you've copied something with your 2 mana spell that finds a minion in your deck and gets another copy of it, this will resummon it. This will resummon 5 and 8 mana Astalors. This will resummon your automatons that you've copied.
I hear automaton, and I'm looking at it as if this card were Battle Cry, it'd feel good. Like I could see it being good enough. But Death Rattles are so hard to do because you have to play it, and your opponent has so much time to figure out like how they're going to deal with this bullshit. They could not let you kill it off. Like, are you going to do a light that burns so you can get some like good stats as a priest deck? Like priest isn't playing that way, so it's like, I mean, I will say,
I give it a 2.
yeah, we'll say
Because
like
I think
if this were running like the old Death Rattle priest, but then even I don't know. Even it brings 1 back, 1 Colossal or Titan. But how do you get 1 Colossal or Titan? Oh, because of the
you copy with Creation Protocol, yeah.
But it's like awkward to get down. Like it's awkward. You have to do so many steps, and you have to play it, and then you do your own single target removal on it. Your opponent just knows how to. I mean, like also a deck is just going to ignore it because it doesn't have taunt. They're going to go face and kill you. So
there's also Power Chord Synchronize.
Yeah,
I can see some worlds where like Renathal priests get real deep into the meta here, where it's like you get an ETC Rivendare. Now this won't resummon Rivendare because I think ETC counts as in your deck, but they play the Rivendare, and then they Power Chord Synchronize it, and then light it burns it, so they have an extra copy in their hand on the things in the deck. So if you get Steam Cleanered, you can play Raw Den and maybe not get Silenced to get the Rivendare back. That's a pain.
Yeah. As someone who actually plays Priest, I'm going to say that sounds terrible. So
probably.
I'm going to give this a 1. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go 2, but I don't think it's very good. Next up, we got Amanthul, which is a card that says Titan. 7 mana, 3/10. After this uses an ability, discover any legendary minion, by which they mean any standard legendary minion from any class or neutral. 3 abilities are: choose a non-Titan minion, summon a copy of it with +2/+2. Or choose 2 enemy minions, remove them from the game. Or summon a random 6-cost minion, give it taunt and lifesteal. You want to give that a 5 and move on?
But this is absurd. 5.
Yeah.
Like, can we go higher than 5? All right, like, what is this? What is this nonsense? All right, like, how do I?
This card would be good if the text box just said Titan. If it didn't discover a legendary minion, it would just be good still.
Yeah, I mean, this is I'm gonna make your life miserable on ladder with this card. All right, so.
Yep, probably seems good.
I just double remove, discover a legendary, and then it's how annoying moving a 3/10 is for any deck that doesn't have a destroy a 3/10 card. Like,
yeah,
what cards other than Sylvanas are destroy a 3/10? Like, how do you destroy this?
You can cannibalize it. You can
so Priest Mirrors is gonna be everywhere. Cannibalized, like you know what I mean? Like
it's a pain in the ass.
Oh my god!
Mega powerful.
It's gonna be a good crazy first week where just like draw your Titan and win the game, and then everyone's playing either Priest to kill the Titans or Reverberations to steal the Titans. So
Power Chord Synchronizes to get more.
Yeah. So.
Yep. All right. So there's that.
Okay.
And then finally we got Shapeless Constellation. 8 mana, 8/8. Battle Cry. Transform into an 8/8 copy of a random minion in your hand.
Is this really a card? Like,
I don't know how this exists.
okay, tell me how. I mean, I get, okay, so you get rid of all your hands, and the only reason you run this is, the only reason that I can say this card is acceptable is because Amon Thule is so good that you run this
Yeah.
card so you can get 2 more Amon Thules, and you just run only those cards, and then you could get more of these broken cards, right? You can also
the
get
2-mana
Blackwater
card.
Behemoth, right?
Yeah, 2-mana card to discover more of them. Yeah, it works.
All right, I would give this a 1, but because Amon Thule exists, I'm going to give it a 2. So
Okay.
anyways.
That'd be a really sad world where we end up in this. The priest deck plays like 3 minions and the discover spell, and that's just everything else is removal.
It's gonna be fun for me for like a few days though. So
is that actually good? Because if that's actually good, this card goes up in its rating.
Yeah, I mean,
Is that actually good?
maybe, yeah. I mean, also your 1-mana cards are easier to dump, right? So like unless you top deck it, right? So
yeah, you can still play 1-mana minions if you want.
Yeah, so maybe you don't run like 4 or 5-mana minions. You should run a low curve and a high curve, and then mid curve stuff spells. So I don't know, you know, yeah.
Priest set's weird. Again, Titan is good. Maybe there's this weird automaton deck. The creation protocols may be good. But like, there's no new deck here.
How could automaton ever be? Oh, it's so bad.
If automaton's not good, then we just keep playing the exact same priest deck we're playing now, with slightly better cards.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
Probably the plan.
So yeah. I mean, like, I mean, maybe Earleg plays automaton with his famous Earleg priest.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Anyways,
Yeah. So, anyways, okay.
All right, Rogue. Starting up with Gear Shift, 1 mana. Shuffle the 2 leftmost cards in your hand into your deck, then draw 3 cards. Kind of like a mini Finley, but also kind of like 1 mana draw 2. Draw 1 rather.
Monster, are you talking about this card? Like, I mean, am I right? I feel like this is just, it's terrible. Is it terrible? I don't know.
It's kind of terrible, yeah. There's one scenario where this card is good, consistently good. And that's if you're consistently going down to 1 or 0 cards, which rogues don't. Yeah. So, I don't... There are like some fringe cases that this is maybe a little better than Door of Shadows, or maybe a little better than Gone Fishing, but that's very fringy indeed. And those cards are already not amazing, so Gear Shift is probably not good either. It's like a 2.
But insane? What are you guys talking about? Like,
it's not insane.
Yeah, well, no, it's not draw 3 because you shuffle the 2 most left cards. You put cards in and get cards out, so you get like, so you have cards you have to give up, right? Like, why would this possibly? They
live in a fantasy world where they think the left 2 cards are bad and the 3 cards they're going to draw.
Yeah, and like Sir Finley, I get a body. What are you guys talking about? Empty hands? Oh, empty your hand. Oh, I see what they're saying.
Yeah. You know the rogue deck that empties its hand?
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna give this a 1. All right. What is this nonsense?
I'm giving it a 2 for the off chance it's maybe like 0.1% better than Gone Fishing.
Okay.
That's about it.
Okay.
After Gear Shift, we got Tarslick. 1 mana spell. Minions take double damage this turn. Deal 1 damage.
Oh, I have no idea how to value. I mean, Rogue doesn't just like kill everything already. I don't know. I don't play Rogue that much.
I wouldn't play this card if this card said enemy minions take double damage this turn.
Yeah.
And my minions take double damage too.
Yeah, unless you play I want my minions to die Rogue deck, so let's give it a 1. So
let's give this a 1. There's From the Scrap Heap up next. 2 mana. Get 3 1/1 magnetic spark bots with random bonus effects. And those are 1 mana 1/1s that magnetize onto things with, Divine Shield, Stealth, Taunt, etc.
Can they magnetize on mechs?
X only.
This is garbage, right? Like
it's not good.
Okay,
it's a terrible card on its own. The only question is Mimron good?
I could turn into like a Zilliax without Divine Shield. Wait, but I don't have Rush. Like, what is this garbage? We give it a 1. All right, so
yeah, it's only a good card if Mimron is very good, and then this card isn't even good. It's just Mimron is good. Okay. We should buff this. Make this 1 mana.
Okay.
Anywho, up next we got Kajimite Creation. 2 mana 3/2. Battle Cry. Discover a spell from another class that costs 3 or less.
I mean, this isn't amazing, but like cards of similar power level have seen play. So,
Yeah, this is like a sketchy stranger.
yeah, I'll
Ish.
give it.
Maybe a little bit better.
I'll give it a 3. I mean, Sketchy
All right.
Stranger is a good card, so I'll give it a 3.
Yeah,
So.
I guess you can talk me up to a 3. That's the problem is this is for a Burgle Rogue deck, and that's deeply tier 4. And this is not pulling
But
it
people
up.
love
It's
that
just-
shit, so it's like this is going to
Yeah.
be great in the meme deck. So
It's a playable card for that deck.
yeah,
Which is
so
cool.
it's like hipster as well. Yeah, yeah. Hipster's a good card, so I
It's
give it a
fine.
3. Yeah,
It is fine.
yeah.
Shame it doesn't really work with Trickster well, but whatever. Next up, we got Pit Stop. 2 mana. Discover a mech from your deck. Give it +2/+1. So, a Paladin card made its way into Rogue. This card is awful unless Mimiron is good. And if Mimiron's good, then you play this card to tutor Mimiron. So, 2, I want to say?
1. I'm just give these things 1s. So,
Yeah, that's fine. That's totally acceptable.
I'm right now. I'm feeling sorry for your next 4 months because these have been pretty bad. But,
Yeah, they should buff this card too.
but
Don't worry, we're going to get to more disappointment. We're not done yet.
Okay, more disappointment. All right, at least the Titan will probably be good, right? Like so.
Yeah, surely the Titan will be good. Next up, we got Coppertail Snoop. 3 mana, 4/3 mech beast with magnetic. Whenever this attacks, get a coin.
Oh my god! It's a coin.
I know.
It's over with no rush. A 4/3. Oh, but if I'm playing Mech Paladin and I like, what is this nonsense?
Yeah, see, you even said Mech Paladin. Your brain
Yeah.
doesn't understand to put the words mech and rogue together.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't. But here we are.
Let's give it a 1.
That's a 1?
Ones. All right. So yeah, I mean, have people
After
seen
that-
the other like the rogue cards
Okay.
these are competing with? I don't know. Yeah.
All right, well, this is the exciting card, at least. This is Mimiron the Mastermind. 3 mana, 2/5 mech, legendary. After you play a mech, get a random one of Mimiron's gadgets. And those are, there's a 0 mana spell, makes the next card you play this turn cost 2 less. Card, spell or minion. A 1 mana spell that gives a friendly minion +3 attack. It gains stealth until your next turn. Choose 2 minions and swap their stats for 1 mana. Enemy or friendly. There's one that, for 1 mana, that gives a minion Taunt and Divine Shield. One that returns a minion to its owner's hand, again, friendly or enemy. And one that deals 3 damage. So, those are all very, very, very good cards. You have to play mechs to get them. So, you can tutor this thing with Pit Stop. So you play Pit Stop on 2, maybe. Turns this into a 4/6. And then maybe you play this on turn 3, coin like a Frequency Oscillator, that 2/1 mech that makes your next mech cost 1 less. And then you play the Drone Deconstructor from this set, and you get like 2 of those, and you do some step stuff. I think this card is good. I don't like what I have to do to get it, but I think this card is good.
I feel like what this card's going to be is you're playing mech rogue. You're going to play it. Your opponent's going to complain and think they're going to lose, and then you're just not going to be able to kill them because you're going to have a bunch of 1 and 2 attack minions on the board, and then they're going to be like, "Wait a second, board clears," and they're going to clear your board, and they're going to be down to an uncomfortable 15 life, and then they're going to win the game. That's my.
There is a slight issue with this card that it doesn't kill people very regularly.
Yeah.
Kills them a little bit, but not very regularly. It's a later
killing
game.
them a little bit is my favorite form of killing someone. Just like I'll put them down to 10 life and then not finish them off and then have them gain life. Sounds great.
Yeah.
So,
There's a distinct chance we don't play this card or any of the mechs or any new cards in general. But if there's a reason to play a new card in Rogue, this is the one. So I'm going to say it's a 4.
yeah, I agree. I mean, mechs suck, at least in Rogue, but this card is good in theory, so 4 sounds reasonable.
Okay. So after Mimiron, we got Spider. 3 mana, 3/4 mech beast. Magnetic. Stealth for 1 turn.
What is this garbage? What is this? Am I right? This is so bad. Like,
It's supposed to combo with the next card, but I think this is
okay.
a 1 for now.
I play this and then I've had 6 mana and I'm a Mimiron. I stealth it, and then I play a bunch of cards, and then my opponent's like, "Oh, I just got to my win condition and then killed you." So is that how it works? Yeah.
I think Spider's a 1, but the next card is what you're supposed to do with it,
Okay, I'll give it
which
a
is
1.
Lab Constructor. 4 mana 3/2 mech. At the end of your turn, summon a copy of this. Forge, gain magnetic. So what they want you to do is on turn 2, forge this. On turn 3, play Spider Tank with Stealth for 1 turn. Then on turn 4, magnetize this to that, and attack face, and then you get 2 6/6s at the end of the turn. And that's the play.
So when I have the perfect curve for 9 mana on turn 4, I can get 2 6/6s while not doing anything.
Yes.
In
And the reason Spider
scenario,
has Stealth for 1 turn is because otherwise you would just leave it in Stealth and let it copy 6/6s until you killed the opponent on like 4 turns later. 3 turns later.
Okay.
That's why they put Stealth for 1 turn on Spider. But
so
this is all.
this can keep going at least, so it's not a one-time use. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's like Malignant Horror.
Yeah, that's actually okay. That's actually pretty good, even though because it can go over and over again, right? So it's
kind of. It's like you have to pass turn 2 to forge, then play Spider on turn 3, which is kind of like passing.
Yeah.
Then on turn 4 you magnetize it, but you don't trade because you want the 6/6 to copy itself fully health.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you might have to trade because you're dying and you get a 6/3s. That might be...
Yeah, you're going to be dying because you pass turn 2 and turn 3, and then turn 4 your plan's not to go face.
Yeah.
It seems bad.
I mean, I'll give this a 2 because it's kind of cool. But I still think the Spider's a 1. But yeah. I mean,
that's what you're supposed to do.
I mean, I feel like this is better in another class. Like, not just
like Paladin.
Yeah, like Paladin. Yeah, like this just doesn't make sense in Rogue. But like,
no, it doesn't.
So yeah. Anyways, even like Anyways, okay.
Yeah, we don't need to harp on the mechs too much. It's okay. After Lab Constructor, we have our last card, Voltron Prime. 6 mana, 3/5. Importantly, this card doesn't say Titan. They spelled it differently, and there's a reason for that. It's because Titans are good.
Okay.
And Voltron Prime says, this minion's abilities repeat on another random friendly minion. So what are Voltron Prime's abilities? Gain +2/+1, deal 4 damage to a random enemy. So if you have another minion, that minion also gains +2/+1 and deals 4 damage to a random enemy. There is gain +1/+2, draw a card. And gain +3 health, and can't be targeted by spells and hero powers. This is the only Titan.
It's not a Titan, or it's not a Titan, or it is a Titan. It says learn more Titan.
It is a Titan, but it's the only bad Titan, I think. This is the only Titan in the game I believe you can successfully ignore. This card doesn't really cost 6 mana. Because you need another minion in play to make this ability active, which you don't always have on 6. Or 5, for that matter, if you're coining it. So it's not always a 6-drop. Sometimes not even a 7-drop if you don't have a 1-cost minion. And then after you do the attach the cannons, they both get +2/+1 and deal 4 damage to random enemy. Sure, great. That's awesome. But then Voltron Prime can't attack for another 2 turns. And the threat of controlling a card or 2... Yeah, or making it untargetable doesn't really matter. This thing can attack the actual body on turn 9. And at that point, it's going to deal 6 damage.
Yeah.
This card's awful, I think.
I'm still going to give it a 4. But it's the first Titan that's not a 5, so...
I'm going 2. I think it might actually be that bad. I've put it in none of my theory crafts. Because this isn't a Miracle Rogue card. Definitely not.
Yeah.
That means it's a Burgle Rogue card? Or it doesn't go in decks?
Yeah. I don't know, yeah.
I got a little sad when Fino tweeted a picture of this next to the Priest location.
Yeah. What's the 2-mana draw card? Yeah. I mean, I think, but like you can make it hard to kill with the maximized defenses. But then you still just go Sylvanas, right? Like so if everyone's running Sylvanas, they can still
or they silence it, or they non-targeted removal it. Who cares?
Yeah, certainly much worse than every other Titan we've seen. That's been like absurd. So sorry, did It's
Yeah, these things happen.
it's rough out there. It's
So if I'm looking at the rogue set, I see a small upgrade for Burgle Rogue in Kajimite Creation, and maybe Mimron is a good card. And if Mimron's not a good card, then this set doesn't exist.
yeah, this is pretty bad for.
It seems pretty bad.
Miracle Rogue is still okay. That's pretty rough. That's rough. Yeah.
What's not rough though is Shaman.
Okay, let's get this.
Shaman. Shaman is
All right.
awesome.